Hello, I'm regular. Elizabeth Bennet might as well be the most famous leading female character of the 19th century thanks to Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. I would describe her as deliciously caustic, witty but also tender and casually elegant. The first Lizzie Bennet I've met was portrayed by Keira Knightley in 2003, and I took a bit of inspiration from her facial features. Similarly, I got some inspiration from the 95's Minnie, where the actress Jennifer L. played Lizzie. Funny enough, both actors, even though Keira being more of a dramatic type of body, as opposed to Jennifer, who seems to have a very romantic type, are similar in one feature: the jawline. While Keira's jawline is more prominent and blunt because of her bangs, Jennifer's face shape is also very square, but the hair and makeup for the mini-series did a better job at framing her face to softer angles, which matches the beauty standards of the Regency era in England. Due to this, I preferred to encapsulate both portrayals by choosing a rounder face shape. From the original source, the book itself, Lizzie's physical description is rather scarce. I found 2 instances in which she is described, and they were in a way helpful, as well as amusing. First, we have Darcy's with his quaint way of speaking. I kid but hear him out. She has fine dark eyes, her figure lacks perfect symmetry, but is still light and pleasing, according to Darcy. She is shorter than Kitty Bennet, tans in the sun, and is an avid walker. Darcy's description helped me to decide which skin tone to use. Since Lizzie tans in the sun, and one of her hobbies is walking, I inferred her skin tone would be warmer. The symmetry aspect I chose to apply on her face with a bit of a crooked nose and a few moles to add texture to the sim. The other report we have is from Caroline Bingley, and is simply mean but hilarious at the same time. Caroline is clearly jealous of Lizzie in this next extract. If you don't already know, Caroline is depicted as an elitist young girl who's in love with Darcy, but this is not reciprocated because he loves Elizabeth, and it's pretty clear to Caroline since the get-go. So in front of Lizzie, she is pretty much passive-aggressive, and on her back she says, her face is too thin, her complexion has no brilliancy, and her features are not at all handsome. Her nose wants character, there is nothing marked in its lines. Her teeth are tolerable but not out of the common way, and as for her eyes, which have sometimes been called so fine, I never could perceive anything extraordinary in them. They have a sharp, shrewish look which I do not like at all, and in her air altogether there is a self-sufficiency without fashion which is intolerable. I have to say that helped a lot, even though I took a few of the descriptions with a grain of salt since it's Caroline's opinion. Lizzie should look plain, not beautiful nor ugly, but basic. From the thin face argument, I chose to tweak her cheekbones, and I made them look thinner, which goes against the standard plump round faces we see in paintings from the era. I really appreciated Caroline's nasty comments on Lizzie's eyes, because now I know her eyes are not only dark brown, but also deeper. maybe smaller and in my interpretation foxy-like to express the idea of a sharp and shrewish look. The nose I used hopefully looks ordinary. I chose the yellow dress for Lizzie in homage to Jane Austen. In one of her letters to her sister, she mentions that Lizzie would dress in yellow and Jane in green. Other than that, I decided to make a postmodern look to Lizzie. I gather that because she's so curious and critical, she would be a great journalist. But the type who goes on to investigate stories on site, and not be bound to the office because she is not afraid of getting her hands dirty for a good cover. I decided to maintain her hair long, but loose due to her free-spirit nature and femininity resembling that scene in the movie when she visits Bingley's at Netherfield to see her sick sister. The clothes I chose seemed fit to her yin and yang features, showing cleavage, and wearing a suit in yellow, of course.